Okay, so we are taking this Targa 52, 2008 model, from Cala, and we'll put a little map on the screen for you, from Cala, which is in south east Mallorca, round past Cabrera, and then across to Ibiza, which is about 90 miles. And then we're going to go off the island, off Ibiza, to another island called Formentera, which you can see. And we are going to show you everything. And I'm going to include the good, the bad and the ugly, including me driving the boat, which I can't do very well, and all the interesting bits about what we see on our journey. We're going to go on anchor for 2 days, at least 2 days. Then we might go back to Mallorca and to Andrax and wherever else we might fancy. Now, the good thing about boating is we've got no agenda, so we can go, because this is our house for the next week, we can go wherever we want, so we will. So come and join us on our little adventure and see what you think.
Take a ride on the West Coast here.
Okay, so we're driving along now at 20 knots. Excuse the noise, these older boats are a little bit noisier. We've got the shout window. Oi! Get your fenders in! And as you can see, we've got a good view out. And we're just about to pass Cabrera. So that island there on the left is Cabrera. Look at that window there, George. You'll get a better view out that window. And that's Cabrera. So Cabrera is now a national park, but it was started to be inhabited in 1530, and it's been used for military purposes for many years. But since 1991, you can actually rent a berth. Well, it's an overnight buoy really. It's about €100. Sometimes takes weeks to get a berth, but it's absolutely beautiful in there. We'll show you some shots on the screen. It's got a lovely natural harbour, but as you can see, it's kind of a rocky outcrop. It's only probably a couple of miles long, but very, very pretty. Now, while we're driving along here, you can see this sailing boat here, look. We're just overtaking this sailing boat, and it's got the Italian flag. You see the Italian flag? That's nice. Now, while we're driving, I just want to point out a couple of good and bad bits about the Targa 52. The first is that I'm having to sit on this seat here, can you see it? On this bolster, with this bit of wood down, because, let me just put it back on autopilot. Auto. Yeah, right. Because the bow is quite high. As you can see, I'm having to look quite high at the bow. We have got trim tabs here. You see the trim tabs? But they don't seem to be doing anything. So I'm having to sit quite high. The boat's seakeeping is absolutely fantastic. I know it's really calm, but actually when you go through some waves, it's solid as a rock. And that's what I love about these Targa 52s, these older Fairlines. The new Fairlines are similar too. One of the things I don't like is the dashboard is being left in white, you see? So it's a bit reflective. This should all be black really. Now, you can't kind of win, because if it's black, it bubbles up and attracts heat. If it's white, it reflects the sun, doesn't bubble up, then you can't see properly. Anyway, there must be some kind of solution, because that's slightly annoying me. And you can see here on the map, we're doing 20 knots, and we are in between Mallorca and Cabrera, and we are going to Ibiza here. So we'll pick up in a little while. See you soon. Look how calm this is, sailing from Mallorca to Ibiza. This is unbelievable. Okay, so we have just stopped midway between Mallorca and Ibiza. Do you want to look at the screen, Jay? There's our boat, there's Mallorca, there's Ibiza. And the reason I've stopped here is because we are 45 miles from land in every direction. And there is, I thought everyone would like to have a look to see what it looks like when there's no people, no boats, no land for 45 miles. Oh. Don't stand on the horn. Why was I standing on the horn? So, what's that noise now? Have I turned the bilge pump on? Bilge pump I've turned on. Look how beautiful that is. You can hear nothing, kids, can you? No. You excited about that, Max? Yeah. Right. Okay, so if you hold that a sec, we'll start the engines back up. Then let's see if they start again. Okay. Okay, so let's give it the beans. Okay, so we are now in an anchorage off Shez and there is one of our charter boats. Fab 4, so we can zoom in. Fab 4, which is out on charter. The rib. And the restaurant we're going to is over there. With that kind of, can you see it's got a VW kind of camper on the beach. As much as I can zoom in at. That's what we're going for. The restaurant. So as you can see, it's very pretty. It's a nice anchorage. This will be staying the night. So, very nice. Okay, so this is the morning after we anchored last night. We're still an anchor, but as you can probably tell, we haven't had much sleep, or I haven't had much sleep. So the anchor alarm went off at 3 or 4 a.m. and it drags, the boat's been dragging through the night towards this reef here. If you see that reef, Georgia? There behind us. So we're going to move in a second. I mean, people rage about anchoring, but the bottom line is, okay, you don't have to pay marina fees, and you know, you're out in the wild and beautiful world, but you also don't get any sleep because the boat's rocking and moving and slapping and banging all night, and then you're permanently worried that the anchor's dragging, which it normally is. Then your anchor alarm goes off saying anchor alert in an American accent, anchor alert, anchor alert. So you kind of wake up in a stupor and kind of a agitated state, and then you run around in the dark looking to see if everything's okay. So it's a bit weird. I think I'm going to have to admit I think I prefer marinas, basically. So we're going to lift anchor now, and we're going to go around to another anchorage. So before we do that, I just want to show you a couple of things, because I know you're going to ask. That is the charger for the Seabob. That there is a Seabob, which is an underwater vehicle. And here is our life raft. Because it's so big, we couldn't fit it where it's supposed to go. It is a nice one. It's Ocean Safety. They make the best life rafts, by the way. And underneath I've got some life jackets. So let's lift the anchor. So this is the anchoring up procedure. That's the Mrs. B. And hopefully she won't get angry at me today. She's going to give me directions. See any directions yet. I'm just opening the locker, and then she's going to tell me which way to go. She might also tell me something else because she gets pretty angry. Okay, so that's the anchor up. I can now go ahead. Sarah is putting the anchor locker away, as you can see, and Max has gone up to help her. We can now sail out of this little bay. There it is, look. Onwards. This is Formentera with the lighthouse, and that is Ibiza. And we are going to go around through the gap. There's the gap, and we are going to go through those into the bay. Here. And here. That's Ibiza. And then we're going to go up to Santa Eulalia. So this is what you get in Ibiza. Formentera for Ibiza. Santa Lulia Marina in Ibiza. Coming into Santa Lulia Marina with a water alarm going off. Seawall. There's the control tower. Let's put out the sunroof there, just do a little panoramic.
These pools are lovely.
Bye Ibiza. En route to Formentera's. Quick little ferry trip from Ibiza to Formentera, so we haven't got our anchor tonight. There's Ibiza town. Very pretty. Okay, so today we're going to leave Santa Lulia in Ibiza and we're going to sail to Andrax, which we'll show you on the map. It's across the sea. It's about 70 miles today, so it's about 4 hours, a 20 knots cruise. We're going to be doing about 150 litres per hour, maybe a bit more with the generator. We're going to leave the berth now, so we're going to show you how we do that, and then we're going to put some fuel in and then off we go. So let's start her up. That's port engine. Start. Yes, she starts. Starboard engine. Yes, she starts. We're going to turn the bow thruster on if you come over here. So I'm going to turn that on there. Oh, yeah, that works. Let's check that. Yeah, that works. We've got the teeniest plotter ever, which shows us where we are. And today the boys are going to help throw the ropes off. Okay, boys, throw the ropes off. You can walk back there, Georgia. We're just going to throw those back ropes onto the quay. Then Jake's going to go forward and undo the bow rope. And then we should better leave the berth. So can you just check at the back everything's okay? No ropes dangling in the water or anything if I put it ahead. See Jake, can zoom in on Jake on the front there. He's just undying in the meds, they put the ropes to the bow and then we throw it in the water, it sinks, then we drive over it. It sounds precarious, but actually it works quite well. So are we all good at the back? Yeah. A bit of thruster. Let's try and keep away from this guy. He thinks I'm a bit deadly because I nicked his power last night. But I just wanted the air conditioning on. So I'm using a bit of bow thruster and a bit of a head just to pull the back away from the boat next door. Have a look, George, at the boat next door. Just go out the back and zoom. That's it. And then now I'm off the berth. You can see it, it's really quite easy. Even I can do this. Now we're off the berth. We're in the fairway. So I'll put the thruster a bit. I use the thruster more because there's lots of ropes around. You can see the ropes on the front of the boats. And you can easily get caught in them. And there's our berth there. You can see that was an easy exit in real time. Now I want to get some fuel. Let's see if there's a space for fuel. So we've got a jet ski filling up with juice. Boat there. Let's just go forward a bit more. There's a sailing boat coming down. Okay, bit of fuel. Okay, just gonna wait here. We've got half tanks. Can you see the tanks up there, Georgia? If you go up to the tanks, walk up to the tanks. See the far right. You've got the starboard tank there, and then you've got the port tank there. We've got half a tank. We shouldn't really go to Ibiza on half a tank.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Take a ride on the West Coast kick. Holiday.
So here is the boat, and this is the reason why we lost our GPS yesterday. If you look here, the GPS, let's give it a finger with it. Oh, there it is. Ooh, yeah. The GPS thing there should be like an egg shape like the one next to it, but the top part fell off, and that's why we had no GPS. So I had to just put it on a bearing for a few hours in the middle of the sea. Well, 3 hours, and then eventually we saw land. But it's all part of the fun. Right, off to Palenza. Bye-bye, Andrax.
West Coast kick. Holiday.
And this is the Cap de Formentor. So this is literally the end of Mallorca on the Palenza side of the island. See, there's the Cap there, there's a lighthouse up there, and then we go round the headland here, and then we go into Chicken Bay, around this corner. If I can just hold the phone. Around this corner here, into Palenza Bay, which we call Chicken Bay because a lot of people are too chicken to go outside of it. You can see how big this cliff is. There's a little boat. I don't know if you can see it in the picture. There we are. That's the Cap. So into Palenza. Okay, so we're in Palenza. We're actually in the saloon of the Targa 52. And we're just going to go upstairs and start the engine. So follow me up. Excuse the mess. So this is Palenza. See all the lovely mountains. The only problem is they put us on Pantaloon 5, which takes 20 minutes to get to the marina on foot. And then the time you walk to a restaurant, it's another 10, so it's about 30 minutes walking, and today it's 40 degrees. So it's pretty hot. So we've got our 2 aft lines here, which I had to tension by reversing the boat up and then tie them up and then kind of let go. So we kind of sprung on our berth. So we start the engines up, let those go and do the bow line. I don't think I'm going to film it all today because I think you've seen it a few times, but I'll show you the start procedure, which is pretty straightforward. So we've got the ignitions down here. Oh, the plotter that doesn't work, and it's so small anyway. We'll turn it on. Let's turn it on for show. Let's turn it on for show. Right. So we turn each ignition on. Should hear something. Oh, did you turn the batteries on? No, you didn't turn them on, did you? No. Oh, let's go down to the... I thought, oh, the engine's not working. Right, so we go back down here. We go to the cupboard and we turn port master on, starboard master on, and that's the stereo. Look, it's got a CD changer. How retro is that? It doesn't work, obviously. Actually, I put a Tina Turner song on and it just jumped all the time, luckily. Right, so we'll try again. So you turn ignitions on, we should hear fans. Yay. And then we start her up. Port engine started. Starboard engine started. Bow thruster. We turn those 2 on. We turn the plotter on. It's not touch screen. So every time I try and do that, nothing works. You have to press these buttons. But anyway, it doesn't work, but I use it to see where the deep water is. I guess where I am, and I zoom in, because we've got no GPS, because as you know, the GPS fell off from Ibiza to Mallorca. So we're not going to film leaving the berth today, because we've done that a few times. So we'll see you in Cala. Bye bye Palenza. It's a nice lighthouse off the top of Mallorca. This is just round to the right of Alcudia. Very nice. En route to Cala. Okay, so we're just pulling into Cala, and you can see I'm just trying to avoid hitting these buoys because actually it's quite a narrow channel. That's close. Look at that one, Georgia. Go over the side. Look, I only just missed that one. Anyway, how much fuel we got, Jake? How much? Look at the gauge on the right.
Right, a quarter.
George, have a look at the fuel gauge.
A quarter.
So part of the reason why I haven't been filming when we've been cruising at 20 knots is because these older boats are quite noisy. Look at these jet skis. I'm gonna look. You see the jet skis? I mean, they're like ants. They're everywhere, and I've got to go. And I bet you they're learners too. Yeah, I can tell he's a learner. He looks petrified. The one in the yellow life jacket, look. He looks petrified. And the one behind him, he's steering and he hasn't got any power on, so that's not going to steer. Anyway, we're coming to Cala. Jake, can you put the fenders out? Max, put the fenders out. And we're going to film the whole docking procedure, warts and all. You're going to see the chaos that is our family berthing the boat and tying up. We've got one golden rule, which is no shouting, but it doesn't always work, especially if we're about to hit something. Look, film the boys, Georgia. Show everyone what we're doing with the fenders. Do you want to open the roof more? You stand up. Oh, that's it. Better watch where I'm going. Ooh. Oh. Oh, gonna hit that buoy otherwise. Bow thruster then. Oh, I'm still gonna hit it. Oh. Oh, that is close. Have we missed it, Max?
Yeah.
Woo! I was too busy chatting and not concentrating You can see it's quite narrow here, so there's quite a lot of scope for crashing. And we're only 52 feet. You can see if you look at the throttles a second, Georgia, I'm just showing how I just walk, I go ahead with that one, then I go ahead with that one. Well, if it goes in gear, there it goes. Just I walk it in like you would a kind of tracked machine, really. And we're weighing about 35 tons, so we've got quite a bit of momentum. George is going to film the restaurants for you. Show them the Smugglers, one of our favourite pubs. Smugglers coming up. Anyone drinking there, Georgia? No? Shall we hang on the horn anyway? No. So I'm going around this corner now, so a bit of that one, a bit of this one. There's the hire boats. Now this corner here, I have to kind of turn it on the spot because it's quite a steep corner. Here we go. So go ahead with that one. All the fenders out, Jake.
Yep.
Ahead with that one, and then I'm going to go ahead with that one, then the stern with that one. Okay, so now we're coming in to the berth area. Okay, George, show them where we've got to put it. Actually, where have we got to put it? I think it's by that BMW, that black BMW, yeah?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Okay, right, Georgia, so if you film, I'm going in reverse now. I'm going ahead, a port engine. I'm going to go astern on the starboard. And there's nothing for me to hit today, which is sometimes good, but sometimes bad, because when you've got boats either side, you know which berth you ought to go into. So I'm going to reverse into this gap here. Let's do that. Go ahead with that one a bit. Go astern. Okay, George, if you stand up now and film what they're going to do. Remember, no shouting, yeah? So we're going to come in here. We're going to get the rope. How many meters, Sarah? All right. All right, all right. We're back. George, stand up on the sunbed. Okay, all right. All right. No, remember, no shouting. George, just show the ropes and stuff. Don't just do one view. Have you got the rope? I'm drifting to port. So we've got the Marinellos come to help us. Get the other one, Jake. Get the other one. Max, get the other one. Georgia, come back a little bit so you get perspective. Don't just stay at the same angle. Right, show them what they're doing. Right, are they on, Sarah?
Woohoo!
Shall I go ahead?
Yeah, forward.
But where's the bow line? Jake, get the bow line, please. Doesn't matter, just grab that one on the starboard. Now, Georgia, as the captain of the ship, I'm in the privileged position of just being able to shout at people and do the bow thruster, which is really good because the kids are doing all the hard work. Listen, I don't mind which one you do, bud. Just get us a bow line on, please. Do I need to go ahead? You can see this is a very slick operation. It's very slick. You see we're totally organised. Jake, remember you're on camera, so don't lose your temper. Okay, so get the bow rope. The bow rope's taking quite a long time to say for some reason. Max got it? Now we're pulling the lazy line up the starboard side of the boat, which at the end of it is a thicker rope, and it really hurts your hands. Doesn't it, Jake?
Yeah.
Try not to get all the mud over the boat, Macca, and don't drop it. Okay, so they're now taking that line to the bow of the boat, making a hell of a mess, cutting their hands on barnacles. They'll pull that line, it stinks of old rotten mud and fish and other stuff you don't want to know about. Actually, it looks quite clean. Okay, right, then he'll pull it under the rail, won't you, Max? Don't rush, Max. You can see we're making a right meal of this today as we're doing it on camera. Jake, you take over, please. Don't pull it through that gap. Pull it over the top for now. It's got to go underneath. Can you zoom in, George, just show them what we're doing here? We're just, the boys are... No, don't want to row about it. Let's just pull it in. Pull it in hard. Jake, go on, you get on it as well. Right, I can kill the engines now, because now they've got that there. And then I will just walk to the front and pull it up. I know. It's dirty. No swearing. Okay, right, I'm just going to cut the front. How good is it, Jake? Right. Yeah, it doesn't look very good, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I've tied it properly though.
Right, let's get a good yank. Out two, I think. Did you do one of those?
Yeah, I did. Did you not see it?
Yeah. God, that rope stinks. Okay, and that's it, folks. That's how you moor your boat.
So don't wait down the holiday road. Holiday road.
Okay, so we've come to Palma today to do some shopping. It's such a beautiful town. Max is over here, he's a bit fed up. Max, you coming down here, going for a walk? No? He's fed up with walking. He's got the hump. But look how pretty it is, come down here. Look at these lovely streets. Yeah, we drove in today and just took a day off boating. But I highly recommend you coming to Palma. There's loads of side streets like this. Look how pretty all they are. Loads of restaurants and loads of things to do. So add it to the list. Look. Okay, so it's the last day of our holiday and we've done a trip to Formentera and Ibiza, and then we've come back to Andrax, then we've done Andrax to Palenza, and then finally Palenza back to Cala where we are now. So before we wrap up the video, we want to give you a quick walk around the boat now that all the kids are off and now that the sun's gone, and show you the good and the bad bits about the Targa 52. And I can tell you now, a little spoiler, it's all pretty good. So let's jump on board. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice, the boat is really dirty because it rains, orange rain here, and it rained last night, so we haven't had a chance to clean it. We've got a passerelle here that normally should go twice this length, but it's broken. So there's the first bad thing. In here we've got a garage which takes a Williams 325. That does work, but we haven't got a Williams in there. And then you've got all these access around the side decks. These are the winches where you tie the boat to on the stern and help pull the boat into the back. And then if you jump on board, I'll show you my favourite feature of the boat. Okay, so it's a pretty boring feature, but boat manufacturers take note. Once you get on a boat, you need places to put things. And Fairline have put this lovely deep locker here, have a look, where I can put my ropes, I can put my hose pipe, my power line, see the power lines there? I can put all of those in here. So I know it's really boring, but that is my favourite feature of the boat. You've got this lovely sunbed here, 1, 2 here, and 1 here, which works really well. This is an aftermarket add-on with these poles, and that just gives you a bit of sunshade. I must admit we did like that too. Coming forward towards the cockpit area, this seating's very good. If I was being critical, I'd say this table's actually too big because you have to shuffle around like this, look. It takes ages to shuffle around. It takes me 10 minutes to shuffle there. Barbecues here. And sink here. Barbecue lid, if you let that will take your fingers off. That is really heavy. I must also tell you that in 2008, this boat's a 2008 Targa 52, the engineering quality was fantastic. So this boat is built so well. In here we have a fridge, which was good because the fridge on the main boat didn't work and that was the only fridge we had. And in there we got an ice maker, and you know what I think about ice makers. We didn't use it. This seat here we didn't use because we had the life raft on it, but the poo gauge is here and the pump out is here, so we had to spend a little bit of time working there. Now you've got again this forward facing seat here, which is really comfortable, and you can see we've got good visibility, excuse the mess of the boat. And over here at the lower helm, well, let's talk to you about the lower helm. It's got a shout window, and the shout window is here, and I'm going to test it. Oi, get the fenders in! That works well, and luckily I know the neighbour alongside, so he's not bothered. The dashboard, come and have a look over my shoulder, is great, and look at the visibility. I've got the controls where I want them, the engine start. My phone screen is bigger than an E80, so I would change that if you were buying one of these. But everything else is laid out beautifully. The twin RPM gauges, the rudder indicator. The handling of the boat is great, as I've told you on the trip around the island. Two things I would say. The first thing is the trim tabs on this weren't working very well. Make sure you've got good trim tabs because I wanted to get the nose down a bit. And the second thing is, if I was having this as a family boat, I would seriously considering putting some kind of matte black wrap on the dashboard up here, because in sunlight that kind of reflected and dazzled me a bit. I found a quick fix was a towel, which worked very well. So really good driving position, great cockpit, great storage. Yeah, full marks for up here. Let's go down below. Okay, so come down. Now, this is quite a traditional layout boat for 2008. We've got the master at the forward, and at the stern we've got 2 twin cabins, which I'll show you in a second. We've got the galley to the port side here, and we've got a dinette here. Now, this is quite an old-fashioned layout, but actually we've lived on this boat with 3 kids and me and the missus, Mrs. B, for the last 2 weeks, and I must say, in the Med, it's worked really well. I love the galley. At first you think it looks a bit fussy, but look, you've got a full height fridge freezer. The fridge didn't work, so we had to use the fridge up there, but it is there and it should work. You've got all this storage up here, all these cupboards, and look at the quality of the woodwork, bearing in mind this boat's now 15 years old. Twin sinks, Frosty's cereal, not my favourite. Mrs. B likes these, but I don't know how good they are for you. And you like these, don't you, Georgia? So I think you'll be taking these with you, wouldn't you? The bin is quite neat. That's there, and it's a big size bin. We've got the microwave oven here. By the way, if you think I'm sweating, I am. It's about 30 degrees, even though it's not sunny. Cutlery drawers under here. And we've got another drawer there. I'm not going to open all the drawers up. Air conditioning controller here. There you go. We're 25 degrees in here at the moment. And these two little stools, which worked quite well too. So let's go and show you the master cabin. Okay, come forward to the master. Now this bed looks quite small because it is, but I can tell you that 2 weeks on board this boat with the air conditioning in this cabin, I slept the best I've slept for weeks. And Mrs. B said the same, apart from my snoring. But come and have a look. You've got storage places beside your bed. You've got nice shelves here. There's a shelf here and a safe. You've got a lovely wardrobe here. Look at the curve on the wood. Look at the curve. Look at the curve. Big wardrobe. I put my pants up there and all my shirts there. Mrs. B had the other side. And then, if you come in, come in. Behind your door, you've got the ensuite. Now, when I first went in the ensuite, I thought, oh my God, this is tiny. But actually, it's not. Because what they've done, Fairline, they've cleverly made the shower as part of the room. So the toilet, you've got plenty of room around the toilet. Look, reading a book, reading a paper, reading an iPhone. Plenty of space to brush your teeth and wash your hands. Loads of space for all your toiletries, really deep lockers. But you think, well, that shower's tiny. I'm never going to get in that. Remember, I'm 6'1" and I'm 18 stone, right? Look how much room I've got. Got loads of room. So the shower on this boat is better than on some 65-foot boats. 65-foot boats. Oh, Sarah's left some towels here. It passed the floss test, by the way. Look, loads of room. Better take those. She'll want those towels back. So the bathroom, ensuite bathroom, gets full points. Now, because we're leaving the boat shortly, I'm going to turn the air conditioning off, which is here. No, it's not. It's there. Off. Off. Okay, leave that on the bed there. Okay, so let's go and show you the other cabins. Okay, so this is the starboard twin. This is where the boys were. Half the time they slept and half the time they had fights. And they found it quite good for both, sleeping and fighting. Come and have a look. So, again, a lovely cabin, wardrobe behind me there. Got a little oddments. Why is that wet then? They've spilt their drink. Naughty boys, they were always fighting. Anyway, that's soon fixed. Really good cabin. The air conditioner in this cabin was slightly intermittent, so we had to open the door sometimes to let air from the saloon come in. But you can see loads of headroom. There is a light here that works suddenly. Good, excuse me. Really good cabin. So let's go and show you the port twin cabin. Okay, so this is the port twin cabin. This is where Georgia, who today is my camera lady, stayed. And Georgia, what did you think of this cabin?
Great.
Was it comfy?
Yep.
Was it cold?
Uncold.
Good, and you have plenty of space.
Yep.
So there you go. Full marks for the port twin. So just to remind you, we had 5 people staying on this boat for 2 weeks. So quite an awful lot of people for quite a long time. So let's talk to you about some of the costs. I'm not going to do a full breakdown like I normally do because I'm on holiday, and to be honest with you, I haven't written anything down. So I'm just going to give you some quick highlights. Okay, so this boat is 2008. It's a Fairline Targa 52. It's got twin Volvo D12 800s. The boat does 33 knots flat out-ish, but I cruised about 20 knots. I've worked this out the other day, I've done about 300 nautical miles, and I've put €5,500 of fuel in, and is about €2,500 worth of fuel left. This is all approximate, so don't try work it out to the penny, because it will be probably slightly wrong. But I roughly did 300 miles, and I roughly spent €3,000 in diesel. So we can work that out and put it on the screen and tell you what the fuel consumption is like, but it wasn't too bad. The boat it's got a generator, it's got air conditioning, it's got bow thruster, it's got windlass, it's got a garage, it's shaft drive. It's a very, very, very well built boat. In fact, one of the best built boats I've ever been on, and I don't say that lightly. So if you think, oh, I don't want to buy a boat of 2008 because it's whatever it is, 14 years, 15 years old, just don't discount boats like the Fairline Targa 52, the Targa 47, and boats of similar ilk from Fairline at that age, because they are built beautifully. Seakeeping was astounding. The comfort levels were good. The noise was quite bad because you got the hard top, so I didn't do much filming whilst underway because it reverbed from the engines to the hard top, and it was quite a bit noisier than more modern boats. I think the fuel consumption was good, and I think overall the boat is just one of my favourites that I've stayed on. And I've stayed on some big boats and I've stayed on some small boats, but I think the family and I all agreed that this ticked an awful lot of boxes. So I hope you enjoyed our trip around Mallorca, warts and all, and hopefully it will inspire you guys to do it someday for yourself, because one thing I can say to you is it is an unbelievable experience. And I know you have to be very lucky and you have to work very hard to do some of these things, but I can tell you, every hour that you work, if you could ever do this trip round the Balearics, I highly recommend it, and it's something you'll never ever forget. Now we're going to do more adventures like this, and we're going to do more videos and run-throughs in the next few months. So as always, if you're enjoying the video, please press that subscribe button. We're over 20,000 subscribers now. This is August, September 2022. We're very, very grateful and appreciate all your support. So thanks very much. You can come down here now, Georgia. Oh, Georgia, you've broken the boat. What have you done there? Georgia, Georgia. We're trying to concentrate and you're smashing the boat up. What have you done now? I'm not bossy. I'm the captain. I'm the captain of the ship. And you have to obey what the captain says, don't you, kids?
West Coast Kid.